So evil.
Damned if I do, or damned if I don't.
Marina Mabrey, damned if I do. Did she just say damned if I do, damned if I don't? She just knocked someone on their ass for no reason from behind. She freaking Marcus Morris them. Well, no, sorry, Nikola Jokic on Marcus Morris there.
If I do, damned if I don't.
I hate that one up.
Like, it's just basketball, man. Y'all love that shit in the NBA though. It'd be cool when the dudes do it.
People were calling for Jokic got a suspension for doing what Marina Mabrey did to Marcus Morris.
You really watched that clip and thought JC Sheldon was going up for a legit shot? Yeah, we might need to enroll you back in Basketball 101 with a bonus class in common sense. Because let's be real, that wasn't a play on the ball. That was shoulder first, full speed contact, a straight up human torpedo aimed right at Sophie Cunningham.
Rivers got on live, and you better believe the next time that the Indiana Fever faced the Connecticut Sun, like, I just want to see, has this really even been covered on YouTube? ESPN posted it 7 hours ago. ESPN posted it. ESPN took clips of it live and posted it in full on their one, which is crazy.
Sia Rivers just went straight at Sophie Cunningham. No warning, no filter. And right there soaking it all in? Marina Mabrey, front row like she paid for VIP drama access. This isn't just tension. This is elite level courtside chaos. The kind you can feel through the screen. So what exactly did Sophie do to spark this? Why did Sia pick that moment to fire off? And Marina, is she just enjoying the show or quietly stirring the pot? Yeah, you're gonna want to hit play for this one.
I want to talk about, this is crazy. This is Sia Rivers and Marina Mabrey going on TikTok after that Connecticut Sun game and lying. And this is an example. I want to go through some things with this because this is an example to me of what an absolute unprofessional cesspool the WNBA is. And I know you all know that, but I still think it's important to talk about this because history gets rewritten all of the time. I just saw somebody talking about now that with the Cheryl Reeves stuff, if you saw my video, people talking about how Caitlin Clark was not playing well at the time of the selection and on. And that, again, revisionist history. I did a deep dive at the time, playing as well or better than any guard in the league. Chelsea Gray just...
The ball? That was just a prop, an accessory in a full-blown revenge scene. It had about as much impact as a napkin in a hurricane. JC Sheldon wasn't chasing 2 points, she was coming in like she had a score to settle. And Sophie Cunningham just happened to be the target. What really makes it wild though? People out here defending it like it's just part of the game. Part of what game exactly? Because that didn't look like basketball. That looked like a surprise crossover episode with WWE that nobody asked for.
So first of all, there was a practice. They did their media during the practice. They pulled Sophie Cunningham aside, and of course they asked her about the JC Sheldon incident, and she stood on business. She said, this has been going on for a couple years now. Mind you, she was on the Phoenix Mercury last season, but she had mentioned that this had been going on for a couple years now with Caitlin Clark, and she was basically sending a message.
JC Sheldon might as well have strapped on a helmet and called an audible, because that wasn't a drive to the hoop, that was a full-on charge. No finesse, no touch, no eyes on the rim. Just straight line, locked in energy like she picked a target and committed to it. And unfortunately for Sophie Cunningham, she was the target. That didn't look like a scoring attempt. It looked like someone settling a score that's been brewing since 3 AAU tournaments ago.
You've gained, I think, 500,000 followers and such, and your jersey selling out. How cool is that for your...
Yeah, you know, it's cool. It's funny what kind of people are attracted to. You know, I'm just trying to keep the main thing. The main thing is that's basketball, trying to win games, sticking up for my teammates. And that's all part of it. I think all that stuff it's fun and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we need to win some basketball games. I'm just going to be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. You know, I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, you know, the star player of the WNBA. And
somehow, in the upside-down world of hot takes, Sophie Cunningham ends up getting blamed, like she initiated the chaos just by standing there bracing for impact like an unpaid stunt double. People calling it a flop? Exaggeration? Selling it for the refs? Nah, that wasn't acting, that was physics. She took that hit the way a parked car takes a joyriding teenager. No spin, no dramatics, just pure force doing what force does. Meanwhile, JC Sheldon wasn't making a basketball play, she was making a statement. That wasn't a drive to the lane, that was a message delivered at full speed. And lurking in the background? Sonia Citron with that, I saw everything and I've got opinions, energy. No mic needed, her side eye is doing full broadcast commentary. Then there's Marina Mabrey, cool, composed, front row to the madness like she booked a vacation in the drama tropics. You already know she's ready to break it all down in the group chat with 5 emojis and 1 perfectly timed GIF. Because let's call it what it was. Not a strategic foul, an emotional one. If the rulebook had a section for grudges, that play comes with a suspension and a therapy referral. She wasn't driving the lane, she was driving a point. And that point hit hard enough to knock Sophie's balance, and apparently people's logic, completely off course. And the wildest part? Folks will replay it 14 times, zoom in, slow it down, run angles like it's a crime scene, and still walk away saying, just a hard play.
The Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan. Watch the retaliation later by Sophie Cunningham. And again, this is inappropriate, right? No, it's what happens in basketball.
If the Indiana Fever fans keep voting the way that they are, could they get Sophie Cunningham to an All-Star game? The Indiana Fever have 4 players in the top 10 of WNBA All-Star voting right now. So could we see 5? However, that top 10 is missing someone, and I think you guys are about to snub Angel Reese from an All-Star game, which is crazy.
The goalposts didn't just move, they switched leagues mid-play. And yes, Sophie Cunningham has a history. She plays scrappy, she mixes it up, she's been in her share of elbows and post-whistle stare-downs. Nobody's denying that. But there's a line between playing physical and getting steamrolled, and this crossed it. That wasn't 2 players battling for position. That was impact first, basketball second. A hit in broad daylight, and somehow the escape plan ended with free throws. And still, the internet brain trust flips it, Sophie must have provoked it. Of course. Blame the parked car for getting hit. Meanwhile, JC Sheldon walks away like it was just another possession, when it felt more like a statement delivered at full speed than a shot attempt. And then here comes Sonia Rivers stepping into frame with perfect timing. No yelling, no theatrics, just that calm, cutting energy. Not a rant, a verdict. Her whole presence is basically saying, we all saw that. Don't rewrite it now. Because at some point, calling it just a hard play stops being analysis and starts sounding like selective memory.
I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
And the best part? Sonia Rivers doesn't need backup. Just facts, vibes, and a perfectly measured dose of indignation. No yelling. No theatrics. Just that calm, cutting presence that says everything without trying too hard. Right next to her, Marina Mabrey continues her silent reign as the queen of quiet chaos. She's not saying a word, but her face is doing full narration, like Morgan Freeman in a true crime documentary. Neutral on paper, but you know she's got the receipts. Meanwhile, people are still calling this normal. Just a regular Tuesday with a little extra contact? Yeah, no. Sophie Cunningham is out there recovering like she just got hit by something way more committed than a basketball move. You don't launch yourself into someone's torso with that level of intent by accident. That's not a slip, that's a decision. A full-speed, no-regrets decision, executed with all the subtlety of a wrecking ball in a tutu. And then comes the outrage. Why is Sonia even speaking on it? Because someone had to. Because sometimes the game needs that one brutally honest voice that isn't here to sugarcoat the replay. Sonia didn't start the fire, but yeah, she definitely showed up with marshmallows. And her delivery? Cold, clinical, precise. The kind of calm energy that says, I've got time today, and I brought the truth with me.